Hello Internet, it's Ed from Iridium Solutions, and today let's talk about a really good 911 call. Now, why is it important to know? And more, so here's where this comes from. We get people who say, hey, I don't need to come to a training class. I don't need to know how to use a tourniquet or chest seals or gauze. That doesn't apply to me. Listen, I'm always in town. I'm always at home. I can just call 911. They'll come fix it. Okay, roger that. Do you know how to call 911? So that's what we're going to talk about, right? Now, some of you might be thinking, well, yeah, it's simple. You just dial 911. Okay, cool. Then what, right? I've got a few points to consider. First of all, if you've been looking around for the last 2 years and listening to the news, you will no doubt be aware that EMS, law enforcement, and fire resources are stretched quite thin nowadays. And what that means practically for you is the difference between a really good 911 call, and by really good, I mean really clear, effective, succinct, something that allows the 911 dispatcher to get the right response to the right place at the right time. The difference between that and someone on the other end of the line, you, just yelling and screaming, you know, something's gone wrong, oh my God, please send help, oh my, and that's it. You may not get the help you need. So, obviously, if you call 911, they're gonna do their best. They do an amazing job. They're gonna send somebody. But if you are pinned in your vehicle and you manage to dial 911 hands-free, but you couldn't actually reach your phone, and all you do is yell and scream about, you know, there's been a car crash and you're hurt, the 911 dispatcher might send police, right? If you sit on there and be like, this guy ran into me, you know, blah, 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 you may get the police. When what you really needed was the fire departments to come with the jaws of life or some other extraction device. So circling back to those of you or the people that you talk to who say, I don't need training. I don't need to know how to do any of this stuff. Okay. Well, here's what I say. Come to class. And this is a control massive bleeding class that we do, okay? And at the back of this book, right at the very end of the class, there's 2 full pages of this book that are dedicated to teaching you how to make an effective 911 call. Let me train you how to clearly communicate what you need to 911, how to practice making your 911 calls, because I'm betting that 95% of you sitting there watching this right now don't practice 911 phone calls, right? And then other tips, and so other important things would be figuring out with your device how you can, if you wish to, set it up so that it will dial hands-free on speakerphone, make emergency phone calls. There's some pros and cons that come with that. That's a personal choice you're gonna have to make if you want your phone or tablet or smartwatch or whatever you use these days to be able to do that. But I want you to have something up in your head, a little plan of action already in place for the time you have to make a 911 call. Because most often, most of us haven't made 911 calls. I have, but most of the civilian populace isn't really familiar at doing 911 calls. Just having to witness something and make a 911 phone call, even if you're not part of a traumatic event, can induce a hell of a lot of stress in you. Well, if you've got a plan for how you're going to deal with that, then you are going to be able to make a clear 911 call, which is going to get the right help to the right place at the right time, which is now. So that's something that we teach in our classes. I want civilians to be better equipped, better prepared, more knowledgeable to deal with trauma. But I really want you to walk away from our class being able to access that higher level of care confidently. And so we're going to teach you how to do a really good 911 call in class, and it's worth it. And so if you don't ever want to put a tourniquet on, you don't like the sight of blood, coming to class, getting your trainer kit that you can then give to somebody else if that's what you choose to do, and just learning how to do a really good 911 call is still worth it, because then you can teach all the people in your family how to make a really good 911 call, how to be able to tell 911 who, what, where, when, and how, and in the right order, and describe the things you need in a way that gets you the things that you want. For example, if you're at the gun range, because lots of us here do gun things, and somebody accidentally shoots themselves, right? If you phone 911 and say, hey, I'm at the gun range and there's been a shooting, you're gonna get the police. You probably really want the ambulance because it was an accident and there's no threat, but you know what you're gonna get is the police. And they're gonna be there long before they let EMS in to check on the injured party and treat them. They're gonna be securing the scene because you said that somebody got shot. The police had to come anyways, but it's a real different thing for a 911 dispatcher to say, hey, there's been a range training accident and someone's been shot, as opposed to, hey, someone's been shot and we need help. So a little bit of coaching on how to make a 911 call, how to say the right things to get you what you want when you want it is useful. So that's what I've got for you today. Learn to make good 911 calls, come to class. I want to teach you a lot more than 911 calls. I want that to be the sort of the foam at the top of the coffee. Well, I like black coffee, but you know what I mean. I want that to be the sort of the last tipping thing off. So once we get everything done, we've dealt with the situation, we have the skills, the knowledge, and the determination to actually see a trauma victim through and help a person, help save a life, then we're going to call 911. It'll be a great call. One final thought on that. There's 3 fights, right? There's the physical fight, and fight is a metaphor here, okay? There's the physical fight, which is what you're doing, that's dealing with the trauma situation. There's the mental fight, which comes later for a lot of people, which is as you process what you had to either go through or what you had to deal with. And there's the legal fight. And even though everything that we're going to teach you is going to be covered by a Good Samaritan Act, the chances that if you render aid, that you'll be, you're going to end up in a courtroom having to explain yourself to a judge are not nothing. And the one thing that's guaranteed to be recorded from the entire event, even if there's nobody there with cell phones to, record you doing the work, is that 911 call. Wouldn't you like it to be the best, most complete, succinct, calm, I got this under control, I'm not hurting them, I'm doing all the things properly, phone call to be played before that judge? Of course you would. Okay, let me teach you how to do that. Ed from Iridium Solutions, come check it out. The course is Control Massive Bleeding. We have in-person courses going live. If you have 8 people in Canada and you want us to come to you, then go ahead and send us an email, info@iridiumsolutions.ca. We're in Canada. If you're in America watching this, go check out Bear Independent and Refuge Medical. They do stuff like we do stuff. They're pretty awesome. Have a great day. Get training. Get out there. Remember, keep getting after it.